it's Leandra at the Kentucky facility for new Vocations Racehorse Adoption Program. And today with me, I have Peller Tate, who we fondly call Potato. He is a 2017 gelding, and he is currently adoptable. If you go onto our website at horseadoption.com and you go to the tab that says horses, you'll see Peller Tate's profile there. And in his profile, you'll be able to see pictures and some videos that we've taken before. But since he hasn't found a home yet, we wanted to take a chance to both introduce him, because as you can see, I'm just loosely holding on to his reins. He can be very easygoing, lovable, and a hangout kind of guy. But one of the things that I like to point out about him is that he's not a horse who would be appropriate for every rider. He's very sensitive, and a professional rider and or somebody who is advanced and has experience with more spirited horses might have a great appreciation, because ideally you want them to be sensitive to your aids and to be listening to you and responding to you. But with a horse like him who is sensitive, you would not put a lesser experienced rider or one who didn't have as much coordination or control, especially when it comes to independent hand and seat. So one of the things I'd like to do today is to illustrate the ideal scenarios for Peller Tate and how quickly it can become a situation where he's very unhappy. And this could go for other horses who are sensitive as well, but with one like him who we have described as a level 2 or 3 in rideability, I would still say that's pretty conservative, because it's 2 or 3 with the appropriate rider. You know, a horse like him we try to work with any prospective adopter to make sure it's going to be an ideal match, that they're appropriately paired by ability level, tolerance level, and a lot of different factors. So while you're looking into horses, there are things that will require you to look beyond the pictures and the videos where we have them at their best moments generally. So I'll ride around a little bit. Emily is behind the camera here, and she will narrate a little bit of what's going on. But one of the best ways that I could simply illustrate what I'm talking about is that when you're trotting, if I'm posting, I'm going to have kind of an internal pendulum going. So my post is going to be dictating where I'd like his speed to go, rather than vice versa. So if he starts getting quick and I start posting fast, you'll see how quickly he becomes upset by that and he tries to follow pace. So whereas he's looking to have a leader, if I don't provide that leadership, you can see that he's uncomfortable in that and gets upset. But I'll show you, first off, we'll try to get him just comfortable floating around. He's extremely athletic. He's an incredible athlete. We have him listed as a level 3 for athletic ability. He previously had a chip in his knee, so he has some changes in his knee, but it's nothing that's going to dramatically hold him back. This is a horse who doesn't think that he has any limitations, but he seems to have had an old injury to his left hind, which means that he does his absolute best when he stays in a routine program, and when he's not in a program, that muscle is not as equally balanced. So he needs to be in a routine. Ideally, he's with a professional. And I'll stop talking. I'll just showcase Mr. Peller Tate. there were times when I would speed up my post and I would slow it down and make sure that he's responding appropriately, so he's adjusting his stride, and I'm still being the leader in this partnership. I'll also ask him to do things like stop, change direction, change pace, come back to me. There are lots of different ways that you can touch base with a horse without getting heavy on their hand, keeping their brain engaged, especially a smart horse like him, who is sensitive and who sometimes needs to get that focus back. As you can see, at that one point, he's kind of trying to figure out where his friends are. He usually gets turned up right around this time. So they're all outside and he's in. He's trying to figure that out too. So he's actually being a very patient, good boy. So now I'm going to show you what happens when, if I look to him to just instruct me at this point, where he's not ready, he's not a school horse, he's not a horse who has enough mileage or really the drive to be a horse who is a pure teacher. So a more novice rider would not benefit, as he would not either, because he still looks for a challenge, he still looks for leadership. And I'll see if I can showcase that. We'll see what he does.
So once again, we have a few people that joined since we started the video. This is Peller Tate. He is a 2017 gelding here at our Lexington facility. Today we're just kind of showing you a little bit of how he goes around naturally, as well as how he goes around when he's given a little bit more a little bit more control. As you can see, he gets quite quick. He's getting a little fussy when he has someone with heavy hands in his mouth. He gets very upset at that. And then whenever the rider's quiet, he comes down pretty nicely, actually.
So just demonstration, I exaggerated all my movement, so obviously I'm not coming down on him or really yanking on him in the same way it probably looks. But you can see, even when I just quickened my pace with what he was doing and not instructing him, that he went for the stronger and the faster option, which he knows to do because he's been an ex-racehorse and he's very sensitive. So, and just as easily, just a small modification in my hip and in my seat, he dropped back down a pace and was sensitive again to my hand. We'll try to showcase it the other way too. But he was actually very kind and that was just canner. So.
There you go. And again, she's kind of just letting him go forward, giving him a lot more control. And some horses... Yeah. She's saying when she grabs on those reins, his head flies up, he inverts his spine, and he just gets really fussy and uncomfortable. And a lot of horses are a little bit more forgiving with that sort of thing. Peller Tate is not one of them. He's being much kinder than he could be.
Yes, definitely a lot kinder response than he could be in those moments where he is just doing what he thinks I'm asking him to do and he's confused. But if you had somebody in a situation where they couldn't then revert back and say, okay, let's, go back to the mode that I need to, if I then went into anxiety or was stressed out by it, that he could very easily unravel too. So I'll go back to kind of working him normally. You can see he's a little bit weaker in that left hind. He tries to drop in. So he needs somebody who can help to create a new balance again now that he's had some time off, to build that muscling back up so that he can then have a more even baseline. And he's very willing. He's just asking for you to kind of be a partner.
Doesn't seem to be fazed by any of the noises going on outside right now. Has a really nice rhythmic canter. And again, for those just joining us, this is Peller Tate. He is a 2017 gelding. He's available for adoption right now on our website. And many of you probably saw our video with Johnny's Cowboy last week. We were kind of demonstrating the same thing. These are some horses that have been very popular. We've gotten a lot of inquiries about them because they're so athletic. But our goal here isn't to highlight anything negative. Our goal is more to show the to show that sometimes a more athletic horse is going to be more sensitive, and they're going to need a little bit more from their rider. So while they may move very nicely and they have a lot of potential, we have to be a little bit more careful with how we place these types of horses, because we want ultimately the best match for horse and rider. We want to be making matches for life. And he comes back very nicely even after he gets a little fussy. He's just a horse that tends to test a little bit, and he needs somebody that can keep up with him. Somebody like Rambo, who's napping on the job at the moment.
So you can even when he's we're on the same page with each other, he's a little more sensitive. The moment there where he had a little kick out and struggled to pick up the hind left, that's his weaker spot. So he's letting me know it's a little uncomfortable. But he stepped up into it, and then he started sneezing, which is a sign of relaxing, and did really well with it. So he's trying to tell me, you know, I'll do this, but this is a sticky point. So we always go back to that as a place where we need to work on, and obviously that's just part of his strength building. So I'm not going to ask him to do a lot of that, but he was really good about it. But again, not something that everybody wants to go through. For us, it's just part of our communication, where he's letting me know that that's a little bit harder for him to do, and that's totally okay. So he did a really good job. But again, this is another reason why we try to work with you to come up with these descriptions for the horses, so that we are appropriately setting you and the horses up for success in the future. And we would love to talk to you more about these horses. Check out any of the horses who are available. We have this incredible holiday special going on right now. So there are 50% off adoption fees for all of our horses online, including Peller Tate. So if you go to our website, horseadoption.com, you can see Potato here, who is Peller Tate, and a lot of other really incredible horses. We're always putting new ones up online. There are a lot of horses who are getting adopted, so we appreciate your patience as we try to get up-and-comers assessed and ready to go. And thank you so much for joining us today. Check out Peller Tate online.